Hello. I just got done thrifting at one of our local thrift stores and I'm going to go to Goodwill. I am really looking for a portrait to hang up in our living room that brings just more liveliness and more color. The one we originally had, it fell down. I loved it, but it was like white and black, white background, black text, and I felt like that was just too much white, too much modern kind of aesthetic going on, modern minimalism, and I really just am not a fan of that. So I'm trying to find some antique art to put right above our lamp in our living room. And the first store, I didn't find any luck with any portraits. I did find one really pretty portrait, but it was a light blue, and our couch is already like this navy blue, and I don't really like too much blue as a decor option. So even though I really liked it, I felt like I wanted something a different color, but hopefully someone gets it. It's a really cute, and it came in a set of two. There were two of them, so it was really beautiful. I did get this tray, and it's a beautiful silver serving tray. I am so happy I found it. I've been having this on my wish list for months now, so thank God I was able to find it for $3. It was $2 plus like tax, but found it for $3, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have that as a serving tray, or just like an aesthetic like tray in general. I think we're gonna use it as a serving tray though, because Mucho and I like to have like Sunday morning teas together. I have coffee, he has tea, but it's very sticky. And oh my gosh, guys, I did the one thing you're not supposed to do for thrift trips. You must have hand sanitizer on you, and I forgot my hand sanitizer, so my hands are low-key sticky and it's extremely overstimulating. I'm trying not to think about it too much. I'm just trying to let the flow of the thrift trip guide me. So I'm hoping that Goodwill has hand sanitizer I can at least use. But yeah, other than that, it's sticky. It must be washed, but it looks amazing. I'll show you guys when I get home. But yeah, I'm going to go see if they have any art here. They usually have a lot of art, so I'm excited. I came in the morning, so it's really nice. There's like no one here yet. There's also no one at the previous thrift store. It was a lot more tidy, a lot less people. It was just a much more fun experience. So yeah, if you ever want to go thrifting, here's another tip. There's two tips I have right now. Hand sanitizer is a must, and go in the mornings where there's no one there and all the things are starting to get put out, so you have like first grabs. All right, that's enough yapping. Let me go see if I can find something. I think I found myself in a little bit of a conundrum, but we'll see first. Before I get too far into kind of like showing you guys and telling you guys about everything that's been going on, let me introduce myself. I'm Michaela. Hi. I also go by The Healing Disciple on both YouTube and Instagram, and I'm so glad that you stopped by. As you saw earlier, I did go on like a little bit of a thrifting trip this morning, and I was able to find this amazing gown, which it's still in the dryer, so I'll show you guys later. I also thrifted the silver serving tray, which is beautiful as well. I'll also show you guys that. But in the meantime, I was trying to find a portrait, couldn't find any at either Goodwill or the local thrift store. And I even stopped by Michael's to see if they had anything, but with the whole thing of AI art, it's kind of hard to really decipher like what is like quality art. I took matters in my own hands, and I found an old frame with was obviously a print in it that is too small. I got this frame a while ago for like $4, and it's just been chilling in the apartment. So I took the frame and I went in. I found a print that I liked on Pinterest that seemed legit enough. It didn't look like AI to me. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I found a print on Pinterest, and I decided to just print myself and put it in here, and oh my gosh, I really like how it looks. Yeah, I don't know why I'm actually surprised that I didn't pick it out, but it looks even better in person. So yeah, I found this, I printed it through Walgreens, and I'm gonna put it in here. Yeah, I'm gonna just like put it I'm gonna put it in here and hang it up. And I'm excited. I think that looks really pretty. So let's see how it looks. Hopefully I don't have to cut it any more than it is. I did print it 11 by 14, but it looks like there's some like edges around that I'm not much of a fan of. Yeah, I might have to cut it. I don't want to though. We'll see. I just don't want to mess it up. You know what that's like when you have to like cut it, but you really are afraid you're gonna like mess it up. I feel like that's gonna happen. But basically, let's get back to the conundrum that I was talking about in the first place. Sorry y'all, that's the ADHD in me. I like go all over the place. So I printed these wedding portraits. They look like they're in landscape and I wanted them in portrait. They are in landscape. Let me cut them and see what they look like. At least, I hope not all. Well, actually, you'd rather have them all be in landscape than one in landscape and the rest portrait, because then they won't be able to mix well. You rather them all be in landscape and figure it out from there. If it's like one big landscape, I might just put one portrait there instead of all three like I had hoped for. Which sucks because I spent $60 to print all three of them. So we'll figure it out. Me and my husband will figure it out. Oh no, it's portrait. It's portrait. Yay! So if y'all don't know, me and my husband had a court wedding. We got married in 2022. We had a court wedding. So we didn't have anything special with it. We just had a church friend take our pictures in the neighborhood, like by the neighborhood river. And I love them. I love them because I love how simple it is. I love that we did it debt free. And we've talked about redoing like a wedding in the future. It's still like up in the air, honestly, so I don't want to make any promises, but it's still up in the air. But I am so satisfied with what we have and the memories we created together, just the two of us and our witnesses, that I don't feel like I want to redo it. I kind of just love like how pure and innocent it was. It wasn't for anyone else. It was just for us and in front of God. So yeah, these are the pictures. We want to hang up above our couch, but I thought about doing another wedding, but I just, with how costly it can be, and we love what we did. We love how it turned out. We love the memories with it, and we love how affordable it was. My wedding dress was $20 from Amazon. The most expensive thing I think I had on my wedding day was my shoes, which were $80. I'm making a mess, y'all. I'm sorry. Oof. These are the frames I got from Amazon. There's AI art in it. Look at that. I didn't even notice that until I got it. I was like, is this freaking AI? Like, you couldn't just get a random couple or a random like family picture like everyone else does. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna remove, what's that? I'm gonna remove this thing and start putting our pictures in. So, for the past couple of days, as I'm doing my regular Bible study, I've also been trying to finish the Consider the Lillies book. I don't know what happened. I'm just not much of a nonfiction reader in general. I typically lean more towards fiction. I don't really enjoy nonfiction as much. I do like it, but it's just not my cup of tea as much. Anyways, I started in October, took like a hiatus for like 2-3 months. And now I'm back and I finally finished it. I would give a ranking out of 5 stars, a 4.5. I liked it, but here's the thing. It's interesting with Christian novels, especially like nonfiction. You're always gonna run into like a difference of perspective or theology. And I did find some conviction for myself midway through this book, which is so weird. I didn't expect it, because like for the first half I was like completely like riding with the author, like yeah, I totally agree, and then the middle point I was like, wait, I don't know if I agree with that. And I feel like God had to correct my heart and just how I saw his sovereignty overall. So I think that's another reason why I actually really like this book, because it challenged me and how I saw God, and it probably actually made my relationship with him grow further. So I'll explain a little bit more why I say that. But yeah, that's why I gave it the 4.5. Also did feel like there were some points where it did kind of feel like, you know, we have our Christian lingo, right? And sometimes we don't go in depth what these phrases or these words actually mean and how to apply them. And I'm someone who doesn't do well with like buzzwords. I need to know what that means. Like when you say God is sovereign, what does that really mean? When you mention free will, what does that really look like? And I want to understand it completely. I don't like just taking it and going, right? I like to dig deeper so I can understand. And if someone doesn't explain it to me, I usually go to my prayer closet and ask God for like clarification. So I did find that was something that I was just like, okay, like I get it. I think I'm grasping it, but for like other people who may not, you know, these are just buzzwords they heard in the church or phrases, it doesn't really make much sense, right? And I just wish that, I think even as believers, sometimes we have like these truths that we say, but we don't like to get deeper in it, and then someone challenges us on it, we can't defend the point. And I feel like there were some things that were said here that I had like automatically, it's like, okay, but what about this? And there was no justification in that. And that's what kind of like got to me. I'm like, you like, you're saying these things, but I feel like you're not going to be able to actually really defend it, or I wasn't given that. And it would have been better if I could just sit with the author and just actually hear like what he had to say about these certain things. So that was just me personally. Most people I saw on Goodreads, most people didn't have that thought process. So that was just me. Anyways, that's enough yapping about why I gave it the 4.5. I do think it's a really good book. If you're a believer or you're interested in becoming a believer and getting to know Jesus, I would highly recommend this book. I think it's really great because it doesn't just talk about anxiety in a way of self-help, like these are the tools to overcome anxiety. This is what you should do to overcome anxiety. The whole book really focused on the character of God and not necessarily how you feel about anxiety and what to do to overcome it, but really like focusing on God and kind of allowing you to sit in that and then kind of come up with your own feelings and thoughts of how you feel in relation to this truth about the character of God, and how does that impact the anxieties in your life. And after every chapter, there were reflection questions that you can go through, which was a good practice too for you just to do some deep reflection regarding what the author talked about. So anyways, let me go into the actual review. Just a quick summary that I wrote was that, I think his name is Jonny Ardavanis. Ardavanis? I'm not very great with pronouncing names. I need to get better at that. I should probably research these authors' names before I start reading them on the World Wide Web. Jonny, the author Jonny, does a deep study on specifically the characteristics of God using scripture to reframe how the reader sees anxiety and their role in God's overarching will. So yeah, basically what I said in the beginning, this is kind of like a quick synopsis of that. My favorite quote that I got in the book was not necessarily a quote from the author, but it's actually a scripture from John 17:25. It says, I and them and you and me, that they may be perfected in unity, so that the world may know that you sent me and loved them even as you have loved me. I love that because it was just kind of like, it felt like a little love note, because it's not that the Father loves us, it's that the Father loves us just as he loves the Son. And that is an extreme love, right? You know, we all know the Father loves the Son, Jesus. So to know that he loves us in that same capacity is just like mind blowing. And it put me in awe for a little bit. So that was my favorite quote, even though it's actually just a Bible verse. There's some highlights I wrote down that I picked up while reading the book. but I said that it challenged my understanding of the sovereignty of God. I also like that a lot of the book was scripture based. The feelings of the author were not like really involved or anywhere in the book. A lot of it was straightforward biblical truths, like some testimonies, some stories here and there, but that's about it. Another thing I liked was that there were many examples of God's children experiencing suffering and extreme levels of anxiety that helps the reader recognize the scope of the Christian struggle. So I like that he didn't just talk about, the stories like David fleeing from Saul, like as a broad term, but breaking down how extreme it was, how fearful he actually was, how long he was gone in the wilderness and caves. And then King Hezekiah being fearful of the Assyrian king and all of his men trying to kill him and his people, the scope of how so many noble men in the Bible were actually genuinely afraid for legitimate reasons and still had tremendous faith in God. So I really like that, and I also like that he mentioned more modern day Christians and preachers and just inspirational people and their stories and how they've experienced great loss or great suffering, and their quotes of how they've had faith and determination in the faith with God. So I really like that. And then lastly, I really appreciate that it wasn't a self-help book. It was more of a theological study surrounding God, the church, and the individual believer. I like that the author was very dead set on, okay, this is the character of God. You're a Christian, you know these stories, you know the gospel. Well, this is what it actually means and how you can apply your anxieties, your thoughts, your beliefs about yourself, society, and the world, and actually compare that to who God is and see what weighs more, what is more important in your life to really ponder and think about. So I really like the book. And then if you've read it or you would like to read it and you do end up reading, let me know what you think and we can talk about it. But yeah, that's the book so far. I'm trying to balance between whether or not I want to read this old book that it's been on my shelf that I'm not interested in. I DNF'd it. I really didn't like it, but I kind of just want to finish it to get out the way. It's I think it's a YA, a young adult romance novel, but I don't really like it. It was ranked pretty great on Goodreads, but I'm on page 100. I'm like, when is this going to be over? I'm thinking about just finishing it before going to crying in H Mart. But if I read a couple more pages, I'm going to try to read to 150. And if it's I want to rip my eyeballs out because I don't like it, I'm going to go and read Crying in H Mart instead.